Before we talk about basketball, I want to just make a quick statement on behalf of our entire team. We wanted to be sure that we highlight the importance of wearing these Lives Matter shirts and supporting the cause because we are currently living in a country that does not always demonstrate that Black Lives Matter. From George Floyd this summer to Breonna Taylor, who could have been me or one of my teammates, this has weighed on everyone this year. So in our minds, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
Thank you, Neila. We'll now take questions. We'll start with Jake from WBB.
First game of the year, what was it like to finally be on that court facing someone else other than your teammates?
It felt great, honestly, to have to play someone new and to just get back on the court. And especially for me, not being on the court that much last year was just such a great feeling to be back.
Yeah, so you kind of balled out there in the first half, didn't you? It looked like you went through a pandemic, really. You kind of picked up where you left off, double-double in the first half. How were you feeling there? Early in the first half, it looked like, the game looked a little slower until the second half, but it did look slow to you.
Honestly, I just felt really confident and relaxed. I put a lot of work in over the summer and when I came back to school here. So I just had confidence in myself and I believed in my teammates. So I just overall felt pretty relaxed out there.
It's, helping you out. You had some, Ali off the bench gave you 10 points. And what was it like? How was the teamwork, the team cohesion, first game in, especially after such a long off season of, being virtual?
Well, after putting in so much work in the off season to build off-court chemistry, I think that really translated on the court, and we've been doing a lot to make sure that we are communicating well and just working well off of each other. So I think that really showed today.
Sounds good. Thanks, Neila.
Thank you.
All right, Will. Oh, 1 second, Neila. Hold 1 second. Will's got some questions for you. Go ahead, Will.
Oh.
That a little bit. This is your first game back properly after that long injury layoff. What was it like to come back, be able to flow with your team, not only after this pandemic, but also your personal layoff?
It felt great to be back. It was really hard not being out on the court last year, and especially, with the pandemic and being away for so long, but getting the chance to come back and just work with my teammates every day and finally show everyone what we've been working on felt amazing.
Yeah, with the pandemic, obviously no fans in the Smith Center tonight. What did it feel like going in there where normally first game of the season there'd be a lot of excitement, energy in the arena, and it's just you guys and your coaches in there? What was that like, and how did that change how it felt on the court?
Personally, I don't think that it really affected us because we were just focused on each other and how we could support each other, and we had a really nice intro, with our families talking to us. So that was a great way to start the game and to just think about our families and who we're really playing for.
And as Jake just said, the first half was a little slow compared to the second. Lost 1 point score in the second half. Do you think that was down to maybe just players being a little bit nervous first game of the season? Adjustments at halftime? What made the difference between how the game was in the first versus second half?
I definitely think that it was just adjustment. We have a lot of new players and it's their first game of the season. So we just had to work through some things and to talk about it and just make those adjustments.
The team shot a lot of threes. Was that part of the plan going in, or that just kind of happened during the game?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, during the first half, first quarter especially, Jimmy shot a lot of threes. Was that part of the plan going in, or was that something that just kind of happened?
That was just something that kind of happened. We just found the open guy and got a bunch of really good looks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Neila. Now you're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Neila. You can see him behind me. It's all straight. We'll make this smoother. But now we'll be joined by head coach Rizzotti. We'll take an opening statement to on her thoughts on the game, and we'll take questions.
Yeah, well, I just want to reiterate Neila's sentiment about the emphasis on today's game being us wearing our Black Lives Matter t-shirts, and really highlighting the work that our team has done in the off season, when it comes to social injustice and being aware of ways that we can impact our community using our platform. So I'm just really proud of, the entire season's plan, with our players being really involved and wanting to make a difference and wanting to be this season to be about more than basketball. It makes it a little easier to take the perspective off of every game seeming to matter so much when you're not always focused on the outcome. And that's what we talked about. We weren't worried about the score. We were worried about how we played and how we treated each other and how we celebrated each other's successes and just supported each other. It's been a tough 6 months. And for Neila, she hasn't played basketball in almost a year because of her injury last November. So it was just great to really see her back in her old form, and for everybody else to see how much we missed last year. But there was a lot of nerves, so it was a good game for us to get some of those nerves out, and a good opponent in Lincoln University. And so just glad to get the first game under our belt, and appreciate that we got the opportunity to be on the court today.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach, starting with Jake.
Yeah, hey coach, it's good talking to you again. Like I said to Neila, the start of the game, even the first half, just very, very slow. Was that what you were kind of expecting? Having such, this weird COVID year that we've been having, that the first game of the year would be so.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the game itself wasn't slow, but the scoring was. We obviously looked a little bit tight. I thought that some of our guys were just so excited to make their first shot that they were rushing. And we were getting a lot of good shots early, and we were shooting early, which is part of our game plan this year. If we're going to score more points, we got to be able to shoot earlier in the shot clock. So I'm not disappointed in the misses. I'm not disappointed in the attempts and the selection. I really believe that we'll settle right into our offense and be able to do a better job of surrounding Neila and Allie and Maiwa when she comes back with some shooters on the perimeter. You have to remember, it's been a long time since these guys have put on a uniform. I think Maddie's really excited about this season and really kind of redeeming herself in her junior year. And she's been so great in practice, and she's made so many shots the last 2 weeks. So it's just so disappointing to not be able to have her, feel like all of that hard work is paying off. But it was good to see Faith get going a little bit and Jasmine get going in the second half. And obviously we're very pleased that our upperclassmen, most experienced player in Neila, really carried us for the first half. She did everything on both ends of the floor, and I'm just really proud of that being her first game back after a long layoff.
Yeah, so when you look at that first half, I remember, us talking in the offs, defense wasn't the problem last year. And as of right now, even just first half, only giving up 8 points, it didn't look like it was a problem in this game early on. So, what can you say on the defensive side? You guys you left off last year defensively.
Yeah, you have to remember too, we don't have, Maya was probably one of our best defenders, if not our best defender. So she's not out on the floor. And then we don't have Sydney out there yet. So two, players that return, very experienced players from last year's team that aren't back in the lineup. So I feel confident, obviously, in our defense. I still think there's things we could have done a little bit better. And I think against, Old Dominion on Saturday with better players that are going to finish some of those plays that Lincoln didn't. We got to shore up some of those mistakes. But obviously this year we went in with a different mindset about our offense. And so, I told the team, we're not going to worry and watch film about all of our missed shots. We're just going to get in the gym and we're going to shoot, and we're going to make adjustments on maybe some of our timing and some of our passes that we didn't have. And maybe we didn't flow into our offense as well as I would have liked to. And I don't mind shooting 25 threes a game. I think there'll be plenty of games that we make 10 or 11 of them. So I'm not concerned about that. I just want these guys to get out on the court, have some fun. It's been a long time since they got a chance to play, enjoy playing with each other, play with confidence. That's a big deal for us this year is to constantly, feel like there's a positive feeling about what we're doing for each other. And when one guy has a tough game, the other guys are there to pick them up. So really that's our focus. I don't want to really come back tomorrow and worry too much about basketball. I just want these guys' mental and physical health to remain good for the year. I want to get a couple guys back from injury, and I want them to enjoy the season. We don't know how many games we're going to get to play or how long it's going to go. So we're not going to take any day for granted. And we're certainly going to be grateful tomorrow on Thanksgiving that we have a chance to wake up and play basketball again.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach, and congrats on the first win of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Will, go ahead.
Clearly Iowa, Sydney, not able to play. Do you have any update on the status of those guys that are out today? When we might see them back in action?
Yeah, so Sydney broke her finger, so we got to wait for her. She's got a doctor's appointment next week to get an update on where she is. So we may not be able to see her until later in December. We don't know the exact date, but she will definitely be out, the next few games, unfortunately. Maiwa is recovering from a sprained ankle, so we're day to day with her. We're hoping that we can do a little bit more with her tomorrow and Friday, and we'll see where she is for Saturday's game against Old Dominion. So obviously she would be a big boost since we only have 2 post players in the rotation right now. And then Coranda is probably a week or 2 away from returning as well. So we just got to kind of weather the storm here a little bit. I think every team goes through this at some point in the season. So ours is right now and get these guys back. We found out yesterday that Gabby will not be eligible until January. So we'll be able to utilize her to add to some guard depth for us in the conference play. And then Piper will be hopefully also ready to play either Saturday or Tuesday. So we're not too far away from a couple of them returning, but we could also come into Saturday with only 7 again. Just depends on how people do over the next couple days.
And you just touched on what it's like to have that during the game, but with only 7 players dressed, what added challenges does that bring in terms of what to do with rotations, matchups,
Yeah.
things like that?
Well, the hard thing is I don't mind having 7. It makes your job easier as a coach sometimes when you don't have a lot of options. It's when one of them gets in foul trouble, so Essence picks up those 2 fouls and now I got 6, and then, Allie and Aria need opportunity to be freshmen sometimes. And so you don't want to have them out there too much. So now you're down to, 4 returning players when Essence goes out that played a lot. So it's just kind of more of like giving them the experience right now. I don't know that I can work on a rotation. It's kind of more, what do we look like? Does someone pick up a foul? Does someone look tired? But we want to play faster. And I do think our pace was pretty good in the first half, but it probably also added to the fatigue a little bit of their legs. And so, when you have guys out there for 30 to 35 minutes instead of maybe 5 or 6 minutes less, it can impact the game, especially at the end. So I was happy to see, Faith in particular works really, really hard on her shooting and her fitness. So the fact that she didn't get down about missing shots early, she's in great shape. So she played, I think, 35 minutes and was making all of her shots late in the game. That's a good sign. It means that she put the work in physically this summer to get herself ready. And then mentally, she was really checked in as a sophomore and made sure she made big shots for us late. So I'm really proud of her performance tonight.
And then just lastly, you had a big size advantage down low with players like Allie, who look at the roster, I think she had a foot on some of the players.
Yeah.
On Lincoln. How do you maximize that advantage? It's one thing just have bigger players. What can you do to
Yeah.
exploit that a little bit more?
Yeah, she's probably the one that needs to watch the most film. I think she missed some opportunities to really bury people. I think we missed some opportunities to get her better passes. And they did a great job. I mean, they knew they were undersized. So as soon as the ball was in the air to her, they had 3 guys around her. So we just got to talk to her about being tougher with the ball and having a lower base so that even if she has 2 or 3 guys that are a foot shorter than her, she can still make some great passes out of double teams. So I think this was a kind of a good first game for her to get her feet wet and realize like how physical and focused she needs to be. But yeah, there was a moment there where I thought maybe she could have like 20 to 25 tonight because she kind of got herself going there in the first half, but then really struggled in the second to finish around the basket. But I think she's going to be a phenomenal player here at GW, and it'll definitely be up to me to make sure that I'm finding ways to get her easy touches and ways to score around the basket, because she's just a great one-on-one player, and she's a great finisher. She does a lot well, passing, shooting. So we got to make sure we continue to find ways to use her right. But I thought she did, for her first game in a GW uniform, I thought she did well.
Anything else? Like I said, thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.